But at this stage of the season, it would be fair to say that most presidents, most coaches are optimistic. I think Don has every reason. I think we have every reason to be optimistic about this year at this stage. But gee, one thing we all know, the competition is getting tougher. The AFL have long promoted the equalisation of the football game to the extent where they want every club on their day to have the opportunity to win, and they're getting closer to realising that goal, aren't they? You look at how many lopsided games there are today as opposed to, half a generation ago. So they're winning that battle, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But that means as a club, we have to get everything right. We don't always get it right. No club does. But we've got to get all the little things lining up, and we've got to get every aspect of the club humming all at the right time. And some of you may have heard me say this at season launch, but in the 11 or 12 years I've been at the football club, I'm as optimistic as I am for the future of our club from a financial and corporate side, but also just having listened to Don and having listened to Don in today's board meeting and having listened to him in his boardroom, because we're neighbours, of course, I share his optimism for the season ahead. So let's hope that plays out. Let me walk through a few things. First of all, as you're well aware, we held another member election for a board member, and I'm going to reveal the winner of that in a little while. Felt like Eddie Maguire a little bit there on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll just go to the news. Right, last year was a challenging year for us. Challenging year for every one of us, and we don't resile from that. A lot has been said about it, a lot has been dissected, some of it true and accurate, much of it not. I don't think we need to go over and relitigate that whole year. But if you have questions of it at the end, have a look around the room. There's a lot of us in club suit and tie, and any of us are very prepared to answer any questions that you have on any issue. You heard Don, and I've just wrote down here, you can take comfort from the work that's gone into the program of this year. It's important to reinforce what Don said about the players returning from this pre-season. They are prepared, they are motivated, they are having fun, and they are fit. And they're probably all the ingredients that you need to put into the mix, assuming they've got the skill to play at a decent level of football. And you heard Don just say that. I should have said this right up front. Doc Clark is an apology, and he wanted me to state his apology to you because he would love to talk to you about his women's team. How good have they been? Very good. It is still one of the decisions your football club has made that I am most proud of, because it was the right thing to do, to have a women's team competing in a national competition at the highest level. And of course we won it in the inaugural year. Disappointing year last year. Hasn't the level and the skill level improved? Have you noticed that? I've sent a couple of texts to Gil Fags. Sometimes Fags doesn't like me doing that. But these were positive messages around, have a look at this, 100 points scored. And good level of energy, structure and skill. So Doc wanted me to pass on that. He's actually training at the moment. He doesn't get the girls for long. So every minute counts, and gee whiz, they have got a very, very big game this week against the undefeated North Melbourne. So let's hope they can win that. Off-field, as I said earlier, the club's in as good a shape as we can get it, and in this competitive environment we need it to be in good shape off the field, because that's what funds the investment we need to make into Don Pike's and Brett Burton's world. And I'm pleased to say we invest heavily into that area to the fullest extent that we can, because there's a tax if we go over. Most clubs don't go over, but not a lot of clubs can afford to invest at the levels that we have invested. And I'm pleased to say, because of that off-field performance, we've been able to do that, and we're going to continue to do that going forward. In 2018, our membership reached 97,000 people. It's our largest ever. And I know that figure causes a bit of a stir, because that's not the same definition of membership that the AFL want us to use. But we're hamstrung with our membership because they record 11-game memberships. We sell out our 11-game memberships in the first couple of days, Fags. Now, we could go to 3-game memberships and then force people to, now that would make us more money and that would boost our official AFL membership up. But is that what you want us to do? I don't think so. So we measure the people that we know, that engage with us in some form or another, that we communicate with, that might buy something from us or come to a game. And ladies and gentlemen, that number's 97,600. So we will reach, in terms of clarity, an AFL figure of over 65,000 last year. And am I right in saying that we have the highest renewal rate for membership in the AFL year to date? Okay, I didn't know whether I was allowed to say that or not, but that's a very, very good statistic, ladies and gentlemen. So when we talk about all things being equal, prices, availability, the year just gone, the year ahead and the optimism it's got, the highest rate of renewal in the AFL system. That tells you something. We have a fan base, and this is measured independently, a fan base. It's defined as avid fans of in excess of 700,000 people across the nation. It is second only to Sydney, and these people buy traditional membership products, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we created the women's AFLW membership as well, because that's a lot of people there that want to come and watch both our women and our men play football. We have strong match day attendances. Weather wasn't our greatest friend last year. Can you recall some of the games that we played in? 6 of them were in torrential rain. Here's my CFO down here, Shane. He shakes his head because we want people at the games because that's where we make our money. But we still had a season average of 45,000 people come to our games, and that's one of the highest in the competition. It's something we're very proud of. It's something you should be very proud of, because it tells people that you're engaged with your football club and you like to watch our players play. I can tell you our players love having this stadium filled, because that's what drives them to a higher level. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a really strong commercial program, and as I said last year, I'm pleased to say it continues to expand and will expand further this year. We had further growth in our portfolio of sponsors, and our coterie and hospitality support was in high demand. Of course, 3 weeks ago, we announced a major partner in Optus. That's a multi-million-dollar sponsorship together with Toyota. So they're on the back of our Guernsey, Toyota on the front of our Guernsey. I would suggest that makes our jumper, our strip, one of the most highly valued in Australian sport. But I'm getting into territory where I'm stealing Andrew's thunder, so I better just steer clear of that and let him talk to it. We have wide-ranging community activities. We are more than just a football club. We know why we exist, don't get me wrong, but we have to be more than just a football club. We have to be part of the community. We're part of the fabric. We've got to be in the hearts and minds of everybody in this city. We are the Adelaide Football Club. So our commercial strategies and our commercial activities have to be more than just about football. And you saw us buy into the South Australian baseball team, the Bite. You've seen us expand into the Legacy team, esports, one of the fastest growing revenue generating sports globally. And we're going to do more of it, because I think that's where the clubs of the future on a global scale are heading, and that's where we're going to have to be looking for alternative revenue streams to fund the superior performance that you're all going to demand of Don and his team. So we've got to keep doing that, and we're doing that well. Let me put up, is there a slide behind me? There are, good. The financial result. This is a sexy stuff. You love this, I can tell. I am really pleased, I'm really proud to announce a cash operating profit for the year just gone of $3.828935 million, $3.8 million. That is our cash profit. Con, you're the accountant to the stars. That's a good, big number. So that represents an 11.7% increase over last year. And remember, last year was off the back of a grand final year. So to drive that tells me that Andrew and his elite management team are getting some things right. So to generate a result like that, we're very, very proud of. We had a club record revenue of $56 million. We refer to ourselves as a footy club, and a footy club first. You know, I hate using the word organisation, never use the word franchise, but you can't avoid saying it's a big business. It is a big business now. $56 million in turnover. Most pleasingly, got no debt anymore. We've eliminated our debt. 2009, when we built the shed down here at West Lakes, we had to borrow a lot of money. And today, as when we closed off our book, Shane, we've eliminated all debt and there's some cash in the bank. So that is a very, very strong position for us to be in. I think the last slide I've got before I hand over to Andrew to talk more about the future is just how we break up that, you know, in terms of major movements in operations. You can see there the core revenue streams of membership and sponsorship. They've performed well. You'd expect that, given some of those numbers I was trotting out. And I know we missed the finals, and as a consequence of that, we missed out on some AFL prize money, which hurts. From an expense perspective, we've invested in both teams, as I said earlier, the men's and women's program, to the maximum amount that the AFL will allow us. It's an important thing to note, and we're proud that we're able to do that in this capped environment. And we've also invested into our growing media business, and I don't know, who went to the Port Adelaide under-23 trial last week? Anybody? A few of you? Did anyone live stream it? Couple, yeah, it's more than several. I did too, and it was a great production, and that was Ian Shuttleworth and his team doing that. So it's another thing, another core part of our business that we're doing, live streaming this as well as for some of our sponsors. So there's the last slide, the operating profit. Remember I talk about operating profit, that's your cash profit, that's your real number, and then you've got a statutory profit, takes into account all sorts of things, including depreciation of that shed that I was talking to you about before. So you can see that for what it's worth. You might have a question on it. The last graph is the one I like. That shows you the trend. The trend's your friend. You can't debate the trend. There's a 5-year trend of continuous growth. That's what a strong football club, in our case, can do when you've got everybody working collectively together. You've got the right people in the right jobs doing the right things. And we have got that, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it doesn't just happen. It takes strong leadership, and we've got a very, very good team led by Andrew here, and we're proud of those results that we were able to produce last year. That's all on the money side. There's a picture there of the board. Quickly skip over that. As I said, we had a genuine member election. When I say a genuine, we've had them in the past, but you were going to go up against Mark Ricciuto or Rod Jamison. And this year, the board elected to make Mark a board elected director, right? Which then, in the first instance, allowed somebody from our membership, those that qualified, to put themselves up for election to our board. We had 3 candidates, brave candidates, people that had the courage, who wanted to come in and make a difference. And I know I've said this to a lot of people, because a lot of you people rang me and asked me who you should vote for. I told you, go and do some due diligence on them. But all 3 candidates would have made great board directors. I'm just looking at young Daniel Kiley sitting here. Daniel, you had the courage to put your hand up. A lot of people don't. So well done. And Paul Edgington as well. 6,000 members voted. That tells me you're a little engaged in the process, and so you should be, because it's your football club. And I'm really pleased to announce that Kim Ryder, who's sitting right there, you're going to have to stand up this time, Kim, standing down there at the left, back left. Kim is your new board director. Congratulations, Kim. So well done, and we look forward to the contribution that he's going to make and the participation that he will provide on our board.